Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. 500 athletes from 20 countries took part in the games. Here to recap some of the festivities in action is Broverman and Brittany Theis. You know Aaron as a regular contributor on the show, the lead editor at Forbes Advisor Canada, and Brittany was the chef de mission for Team Canada. So starting with a hello to Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hello, Dave. I'm so excited to be talking to you with my lovely wife, Brittany Theis.
A family affair through and through. Brittany, I'm so glad you were able to make some time today to talk to me. I'm very grateful.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, Brittany, starting with you, you were the chef de mission for Team Canada. What was your level of excitement going into the games? Maybe just as the plane was landing in Germany and you were getting the team set up.
Pretty excited. I participated in the games in 2017 in Guelph, Ontario, and I was also on the planning committee, so I had like an inkling of the energy and the type of events that the energy and the vibes of the whole week. So I was pretty excited, and we've been working on it for me and my co-chef de mission and the planning committee have been working on this for a year, so at least. So, you know, kind of seeing it all start to come into fruition was pretty exciting.
Staying with you on this one, Brittany, because you had that experience from Guelph, at what point in Germany did you feel like you settled in and maybe you were able to appreciate the moment, or did that never settle in? Is the hustle bustle so much that it's hard even to settle in once you're at the games?
I'm pretty good. I have to say, like on my personal level, I'm pretty good at appreciating the moment all the time, generally. But I would say it was pretty busy. I was more busy as chef de mission than I felt like I was on the planning committee on the other side, because that was a bigger group doing it. In the chef de mission, there was a lot of responsibility and a lot of people leaning on you to make sure their games, they could just go and show up and play the sports. So like the Team Canada members.
Aaron, certainly your partner, your wife, is so knee-deep in all of this stuff that's going on in Cologne, but you're there too. I'm curious what your feeling was in terms of the vibe on the ground.
I loved it. I mean, I got to see a lot of the games, a lot of the events. It was great watching Team Canada, especially at the big team sports like soccer and basketball. But mostly my responsibility was parenting. I mean, Britt was pulling 11-hour days. She would have chef de mission meetings every night and then have to send an email to Team Canada about where they were supposed to be and what they were supposed to do. So I had to make sure that our 3-year-old son Wells, got to bed and got his breakfast and his lunch and 3 meals a day and that sort of thing. So, I was mostly taking care of him, and that's kind of the first time I've ever done that. Being alone with him, taking care of him the majority of the time in a foreign country.
Aaron, this is probably a self-evident question, but why did you want to make the trip as well? Was it simply the sweet call of sweet, sweet Germany?
Well, I actually, we made this like a family trip as well. Like, I wanted to like tour around. We also, we envision being able to take our son places and giving him an experience, to travel the world, even when he's young. And he's a pretty good, kid in restaurants and that sort of thing. And he was a fantastic traveler. So we want to give him that experience as well. So that's why I wanted to make the trip. And plus, like, I'd never been to Germany. I wanted to see the sights. We actually went to Amsterdam after the games as well. So we got 2 countries in before we came back to Canada.
Brittany, I saw a couple great pictures of the Team Canada contingent. Looks like it was a pretty good turnout across a number of the different sports. Saw a picture late in the games with a lot of smiling faces and some medals around necks. So as a whole, how did the team perform? Any standouts?
We got 57 medals in total. The total medal roundup isn't in yet for all the countries, but I suspect we'll be in the top 5, just based on what I'm hearing or what I know of other countries, which is amazing. Standouts are both our men's and women's doubles badminton players who both won golds. So that was we kind of swept the doubles open category. We got bronze in men's basketball, silver in men's soccer, and as you can imagine, you're playing in Europe where soccer/football is the sport that many people like play since they're a young child, like hockey here, right? So it's like so to get a silver, I think, is amazing, and we lost to Germany, and so that's certainly not anything to complain about. And then on the younger end of things, because there's such a wide range of age, as you maybe already know, the junior A team, which was 7 to 11-year-olds, I believe, got a gold in basketball. So that was super exciting. And they were actually paired, just given the number of athletes that showed up, they were actually playing with Team Australia. So it was like a Team Australia Canadian basketball team, and they got a gold. And there was a record lift. I don't know what it was. I can't remember, or I can't think of it off the top of my head, but by a junior C powerlifter. So
oh my gosh,
World Dwarf Games record. Yeah.
Wow, success through and through. It's got to be really cool, especially when some of those team sports end up medaling and getting onto the podium, because the vibe is just different when all of a sudden 15 people are walking out with a medal around their neck.
Yes. And I think if we're talking about that vibe, that junior A win was probably the peak of that. They were like those kids, they were so excited, and you have to imagine too, in their everyday life, and this is not a pity story, just reality, that they play basketball against their average height peers, right? So they might not be like the star player on their team in gym or in their like just their social groups, but they come to the World Dwarf Games and they win gold in junior A, and you recognize like, oh, it's just that I have a little bit of an unfair playing field in my everyday life, but here I'm a really good basketball player.
Yeah. No, there's something about that, right? The feeling of success, it cannot be replicated, and when you win something, it just feels different. And this is coming from someone who's rarely to have ever won anything. I once hit a home run in an 8th grade baseball class in gym class, and that was like one of the most thrilling athletic moments of my life. Aaron, you mentioned there was a lot of parenting for you, but I bet you took in an event or two. What were some of the standout events that caught your attention?
I love basketball, as you know. I've commented about the Raptors on this very show, and I love that. And you always think that like basketball takes a lot of height, but there are people that can like get the ball into the net no matter what their height is. So that was really fantastic to see. I also kind of appreciated the bocce, because that's a game that I can play with my limited athletic ability. You're just sitting, you're rolling the balls and that sort of thing. So it's something that harkened back to when I used to do disability sports and that sort of thing. So yeah, it was very exciting, and I was particularly struck by the fact that when countries didn't have enough members, Canada was one of the first willing to loan players to their teams. So we had women playing on Team Netherlands, and Team Netherlands was nice enough to give them their full jersey and that sort of thing, and those women basketball players medaled as well. So I just loved how it wasn't really about the rivalry, it was about the camaraderie, and people were willing to combine teams. We had a Team Canada, Team USA women's soccer team for the first time, of course, that Commonwealth team that Britt mentioned. So it was just great that people were just willing to step in and put kind of fair play and camaraderie before competition and rivalry in a lot of cases.
Brittany, that leads into a concluding thought. And I know there's some self-evidence to this question, but there's always an interesting answer when I put it out there. Why are large-scale international sport events like this so important?
I think simply like visibility. The community, like dwarfism itself, stats vary, but in each town across the country, each city, there's only a few people who live, unless you're in a big city or in LA. There's only a few people who live with dwarfism in each town or city, a handful, couple dozen, depending on the size. And so I think when you have these large scale events, you really realize how many other people with dwarfism live like throughout the world and are living their lives every day. And also, and you can have that competitive edge, that what you say, those like winning gold, playing very competitively and building that community even more. So I think visibility is kind of the key, like why it's so important. And like to kind of circle back to something Aaron said earlier with watching our son also has dwarfism. Something like for him as he grows up, like this wasn't something that existed when I was a young child. And for him just knowing that these sports exist for him and he'll likely be participating in the next ones in 4 years from now. You know, he can look forward to that. He can know that this opportunity is there for him, and it can lead to bigger things. As you maybe know, there's lots of people with dwarfism in the Paralympics who play a number of different sports. So,
Brittany, this has been fantastic to meet you over the air. Don't be a stranger. I'd love to connect with you again.
Absolutely.
Aaron, I know you won't be a stranger because you and I are talking next Thursday for your regularly scheduled segment. So don't stray too far. I'm going to send you an email in a couple days here.
I won't, and we're looking forward to World Dwarf Games Australia in 2027. We'll definitely be there.
Oh my gosh, crossing the Atlantic, crossing the Pacific, no rest for the weary. That's Brittany Theis, chef de mission for Team Canada at the 2023 World Dwarf Games, and Aaron Broverman is the lead editor at Forbes Advisor Canada. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI.TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI TV or download the podcasts wherever you listen.